Let me welcome our first special speaker. Her name is Rowena Tirop, and she'll be speaking on sports psychology. Oh, come on, girl, get on the stage.
Thank you, Chris. And my name is Rowena Tirop. Good morning, everyone. I am a sports psychologist, and today I will be speaking to you about sports psychology and its importance. Enjoy. Thank you. So now that is a brief introduction to sports psychology. The one takeaway we have from that is you believe, whatever you believe you achieve, what your mind thinks is what you give out. So I will briefly go into what I will be speaking about today. I will talk about what is sports psychology, player development, common problems faced, performance enhancement, psychological skills, the importance of sports psychology in Kenya, what sports psychology is not, and then conclusion. So we'll start with this quote by Peyton Manning, who is a former NFL player. It says, "The attitude with which we approach the situation can determine our success or failure." And I feel like Eliud really embodies this quote. So now, what is sports psychology? Basketball legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar brilliantly summarized the importance of the mental side of sports. Your mind is what makes everything else work. And also Novak Djokovic, that is a tongue twister, tennis is great, says it's a mental ability to handle the pressure, to play well at the right moments. So the definition of sports psychology, according to the American Psychological Association, says it is the study of psychological factors that are associated with participation and performance in sport, exercise, and physical activity. So as sports psychologists, we deal with the psychological knowledge and skills related to performance, with the goal of optimizing performance, increasing growth, overcoming mental barriers. We also support development and enhance performance while maintaining well-being and positive mental health. Our objectives are, we are here to understand how psychological factors affect one's physical performance, and also to understand how participation affects one's psychological development, health, and well-being. So here is the four-corner model of player development. And usually, more often than not, we focus on the technical or tactical, the physical, social, and very little on the psychological. We think of athletes as superheroes, and what we are here to do is to show that these people are also human beings. They also have feelings and they need the care. So the psychological aspect needs to be paid more attention to. So this player development model is a means of addressing multifaceted needs of a player throughout their development. So what are the common problems faced in sport? There is pressure to perform, stress and anxiety, distractions, under or over arousal, which means anything from you do not have, let's say sleeping, to overexcitement. So under excitement to overexcitement, low or no motivation, no or low group cohesion, injury, changes that might occur both in and out of sport. We also have problems like career transition, like improper career transition, poor management of fame, finances, which can also add to psychological distress. So how do we help as the sports psychologists? We enhance performance. Our main goal is performance enhancement. So the mental abilities of confidence, concentration, and composure are important in being a champion in everything you do, in work or sports or both. In contrast to your physical abilities, your mental abilities may flutter from moment to moment because your mind is susceptible to performance pressures and situational demands. In order to enhance performance, we use psychological skills. These are tools for the mind. Weinberg and Gould, 2007, says, consistent practice of mental or psychological skills not only enhances performance, increases enjoyment, and contributes to achieving sport and physical activity self-satisfaction. So here are a list of the psychological skills that we cover. Goal setting, and we all know what goal setting is about. So it's basically you're setting goals that are going to help you as an athlete grow and reach to the point that you want to. We have imagery and visualization, which is mental rehearsal. So you see yourself winning, you see yourself performing a certain skill, you see yourself being on stage and talking to people. Then next we have positive self-talk. This is your internal conversation. How do you talk to yourself? We have positive, negative, neutral self-talk. So how do you talk to yourself? If right now you could think about what you'd say to yourself in this morning, was it good, was it bad, was it just there? But we aim for positive self-talk to get you motivated. Then next we have motivation, which is intrinsic or extrinsic, from within or without. Then next we have the relaxation techniques, e.g. deep breathing, pre and post performance techniques or routines. This can include listening to music before a game or even after, even at the gym. That's a during performance routine. Like for example, my pre-performance technique this morning and it's always that, was listening to music. Always gets me pumped. Then next we have anxiety management, and then concentration or attentional focus and control. So an example of the application of psychological skills. Here we have the 3 stages of motor learning. So it moves from cognitive, which is the planning stage, associative, the practice or adaptive stage, autonomous, which is the automation stage. This is when skills become, you don't have to think about it to do it. So if you apply a psychological skill like self-talk, at the cognitive stage, the planning stage, you have moments where you're making a lot of errors. So you have to make sure that the conversation within yourself, that what you're saying to yourself is good, is going to keep motivating you as you do your skill acquisition. And you move, and it changes according to what stage of learning you're at. So at associative, it might be, okay, you'd still be telling yourself, sometimes I can still do it even if this time I failed. Autonomous, the same thing, although it grows and changes as you go along. So what is the importance of sports psychology in Kenya? It helps athletes, coaches in understanding their own thought patterns, processes, and biases. We are here to build strengths and acknowledge weaknesses. Also to build confidence and push one beyond their limits. We work hand in hand with coaches and various sports professionals to develop actual physical skills athletes can depend on and help them improve. We provide athletes, coaches with tools and techniques to enhance performance and increase their ability to perform under pressure. Working closely with sports federations and NGBs. NGBs are national governing bodies for sport to provide all-rounded support, care, and development of athletes, coaches, and various sports professionals. We also need to have the proper career transition when it's transition out of sport. If sport has been ended due to injury, due to illness, due to age, just proper care and support as you go through that. Also helps with proper management of fame and finances. So when you get this big bag of money, how will you handle that? Are you able to control yourself, control your spending, and just make sure your psychology is good during that period? So what sports psychology is not? Sport and performance psychology, we also call it sport and exercise psychology, is only for people with mental disorders or mental problems. That is not true. It works for everyone. It works for, if apart from sports people, also in the corporate setting. Sports psychology offers an immediate solution to every problem or issue. It's a process. That is actually all I can say. Sports psychology is only for active athletes. That is wrong. It is for even retired athletes. If you're thinking of becoming an athlete, this is also for you. It's only for professional athletes. No, we work with athletes on the whole spectrum. So from amateur to professional. If you speak to a sports psychologist, you must have a problem. You don't. It's just like going to the doctor for medicine when you're sick. It's like going to the physio when you've strained your muscle. So that's the same thing with sports psychology. It's just for your mind. There's also another myth with sports psychology. It's that it's only therapy. It's not. We work with coaches, athletes, sports professionals to help in skill acquisition, anticipation, decision making. It's a whole thing. It's a whole shebang. So, in conclusion, our goal is to support athletes towards reaching optimal performance, mental well-being, and enjoyment in both sport and life. The one takeaway from the video at the beginning was focusing on your controllables. So keep focusing on your controllables. Then we aim to build resilience. So having a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset. And finally, it's identifying what an athlete needs in all phases of performance. Pre-performance phase, execution phase, and post-performance phase. So before we finish, there's one more video just to give you more of an idea of the importance of mindset to your performance as an athlete, coach, and in any profession. Thank you.
When you think about sport at the highest level, the mind really is the athlete. The best coaches in the Premier League understand that to get the very best from their players, psychology is central to that process. When all else is equal, mindset defines performance.
The apparent untouchables, Manchester City, the team that seemed to have it all, last year's treble winners, line up here with dignity to applaud those who have bettered them.
A cavernous 18-point gap separated City and Liverpool last season, a title defence that came with more questions than answers. Last year's runners-up, up and running after a dazzling display at Wolves, a sign perhaps of a shift in mentality.
The distraction of focusing on others and not self will eventually lead to the demise of any team at the top. How do you stay number one? You train like you're number two. When it comes to Manchester City, the question is, are they going to be hungry to close the gap? Or are they too injured mentally because of last season? Their response to the situation this season is the most important thing.
We play at home, and I see the team, even we have just 13 players for the first team, I see the team really, really well in terms of happiness and relation between them. The young players help us a lot, and we have an exceptional group.
Pep is a world-class coach. He has the capacity to see pictures that other coaches don't. When we're speaking about clarity as a psychological superpower, Pep has the capacity to communicate that clarity to his players. There is also a danger that intelligent coaches can sometimes overthink. In psychology, it's called paralysis through analysis. The big danger is that sometimes in their attempts to help, coaches can paralyze the team through too much analysis.
Brendan Rodgers' long-held lead has been frittered away, and he must content himself with the Europa League.
10 months is a long time to be in the top four and not end up there. Leicester, though, have turned disappointment into drive. Timothy Castagne's arrival on the scene has brought freshness to the Foxes squad. He's scored and made goals to help Leicester win twice and to become the Premier League's early pacemakers.
A player has to focus on the here and now, present moment focus, and players have to reset. We can't do anything about the past apart from learn from it, so don't live there. The huge advantage that Leicester have is that they've got players who have won the Premier League against all the odds. So when you have those types of players in the squad, they can be the architects, the guardians of that belief.
We're still very much in a process of getting better and improving. And because we have a lot of young players, that will naturally be the consequence. So yeah, but a good start for us, huge challenge for us at the weekend, but one that we really relish, and these are the types of games where we can show our qualities.
Sometimes setbacks in the past can linger, and they can cause us to doubt whether we have the ability to win. So Brendan has the opportunity to instill belief in the players and learn from past mistakes. Understand why it was that we faltered psychologically. And a key thing is the coach has to believe himself that it's possible.
So the stage is set. Manchester City against Leicester City, both hoping that they can hunt down Liverpool.
It's a chase that will require endurance and excellence, but both clubs have proved they can be anything they want to be when they put their mind to it.
So fantastic, thank you for that. From this video, the takeaway is mindset defines performance. If you have any more questions, if you want to contact us, our information is on the screen right now. Feel free, and looking forward to talk to you. Thank you.
Wow, positive, negative, neutral. All about mindset, all about psychology. And it doesn't matter whether you're an athlete, whether you're in the private sector, whether you're a student, it's all about psychology. Thank you very much for that, Rowena Tirop. That was a wonderful presentation. Here at Kenya International Sports Film Festival 2020, we're going to give you only the best of the very best.